John Delvecchio from Street Skills, and I'm at Interstellar, where I just finished putting the KTM back together after some winter maintenance, and she looks as pretty as a picture. Now, I'm going to take this opportunity just to go through the controls real quick and some tips that I have to give you more confidence and enjoyment in the corners. Your handlebar setup is a good place to start. On a standard motorcycle, an adventure touring motorcycle, a sport bike, they all can have problems with ergonomics the way it fits with you. Now on this particular motorcycle and all my motorcycles, I like to have my arms loose and level. All right, we don't want to have a situation where we're extending our arms. It's going to cause leverage, comfort problems. The suspension's not going to want to do its job as easy. Same thing if you figure you're on a sport bike with your arms fully locked. That's going to cause trouble. Now what you can do to fix this, which I haven't needed on this motorcycle, are handlebar risers. Handlebar risers can move the handlebar placement forward, backwards, higher, lower, and it's worth every penny to get your handlebars in the right position so that you're not either extending or having them over your head or something like that. Generally speaking, if we want to have precise control in the corners and we want to be a cornering expert, we can't have a lot of play in the throttle, because that means we're turning the throttle without any response. And then as we keep rolling on, it finally catches, and that's not good for smooth inputs, consistent traction, and just proper throttle application for high-level cornering skills. So there's usually an adjustment over here somewhere. We want to be careful not to adjust it with zero movement, because we don't want the throttle to remain open when we close it. We also, when we turn the bars, we don't want to have the throttle rolling on or off. So that's just one thing to keep in mind with the throttle. Regarding the clutch, with this, there's hydraulic clutches, there's cable actuated clutches. Now this one's a hydraulic clutch, and it's sort of, you don't need to really adjust these because the pressure in the system sort of does that for you. But if you have a cable actuated clutch lever, a lot of times people will leave these real loose, and it's better to have it a little loose, but you don't want to have it too loose so that you're overworking your fingers. So try to make it so that when you go to do your smooth shifting, that we just have to make a little slight clutch pull for the clutch to disengage so that it goes into the next gear. So just try to think about where the comfort is for that, so that you can do quick shifting with a slight clutch pull, but you do want to have a little bit of play in that if it's a cable actuated clutch. On most motorcycles that I've owned, there's not a whole lot you can really do with the gear shift levers adjustment. This one, I guess if you tip over, it's going to push that in and maybe it won't break, but some are actually adjustable, some levers. Sometimes you can rotate a cam and it will move this around to give you a more ergonomic feel. That is one of the downsides to most motorcycles, is that you have to make adjustments with your foot in order to really get better feel with the gear shift lever. So there's not a whole lot of adjustments here. Just I'd focus on the techniques for smooth shifting with regard to the gear shift lever. Similar to the gear shift lever, the rear brake lever has limited adjustability, and especially on pretty much all the motorcycles I've owned. My Moto Guzzi Grigio does have, again, a little cam setup where you can rotate the actual tip of the peg a little bit easier, but for better control. What we would like to do, if we could, would be to lower the placement. And if you think about where the brake pedal is, the higher it is compared to the foot peg, the more leverage we have to actually perhaps over apply brakes. And if we're going into a corner, that could be a real problem for the rear. So there's a couple things we can do to get around this problem. If you can lower the brake pedal, therefore it'll make it so that you have to kind of extend your foot a little lower to actually actuate the lever. Go for it and do that, give that a shot. But if you don't have that luxury, what you could do is
Normally we would, use the ball of our foot to press down on the brake lever, and that's good as well. Perhaps putting our foot a little bit further back might give us less over abuse of that rear brake. If we were to really go up on our heel, we have the leverage of our whole foot, and that might provide too much pressure on that rear. And so we want to be able to apply our rear brake, but we want to do it in a controlled and measured way. And sometimes if we can just keep the foot back a little bit more, we can have less force applied, gives us a little finer control.
So that's about it. If you want some more information, perhaps a few more details, pick up a copy of Cornering Confidence off Amazon.com. Be glad to answer any questions that you have as well.